We're gonna dive right into depression. Like, did we talk about depression already? Yeah, because the other one was bullying. Depression. So, like, if a kid gets bullied and feels depressed, do you think how do they? Everybody says they're depressed now. It's like a thing to me.
Yeah.
Even from your music that you listen to, every rapper I know say they're depressed. That's in the music business now. It's like common.
It's really
like
weird the trends that people start with mental health. One year everybody was bipolar.
Right. Schizophrenic.
Or schizophrenic.
Yeah.
It's almost like when people learn a new word,
right.
they overuse it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, some of our doctors will overuse it as well when it comes to our kids from small communities. And I think that's why some of our black parents are not comfortable with our children going to psychiatrists because they're afraid of the wrong label.
Okay.
You know, because like I said, for one moment, everybody was bipolar. I mean, I would get a lot of records like, I'm bipolar, but according to the law, it can't be a certain age until they're diagnosed bipolar, according to the DSM. So I think that's what, frightens the black community. So now the word is depression.
Right.
And like you said, the rappers and everybody's using it. The actresses and actors are coming out that they're depressed.
Right.
Okay, so how to figure out if it's true or not? Like I tell the people in the school system when they call me, I say they don't pay me nor you enough.
Right.
That's why they have the doctors.
That's true.
That's why they have the MDs, the psychiatrists, the PhDs. That's why they have the licensed therapists that do that for a living.
Gotcha.
And I like to tell the school counselors, you kind of have too much to do right now to actually sit down and figure it out because that could take a long time. That's why those people are sitting in these clinics.
I got you.
Let them go there.
Huh. So like, I don't see how I want to word this. I know a lot of people that say like the rappers and the kids listen to the rappers, they use drugs, right? And alcohol. So you think that's a good way to cope with depression?
No, but 9 times out of 10, most people who are addicted to some sort of controlled substance or alcohol, they're self-treating themselves. So they're treating some underlying mental illness that's possibly there that they don't understand or that they're afraid or ashamed to get help for. You always, if you can remember when you were little, there was always this person in the neighborhood. And my grandparents would tell me, oh yeah, he got like that after that accident.
Right.
And and the kids was like scared of him. It was that kid that you just ran, the man that you just ran from or whatever. But think about it. Can an accident make somebody crazy? Well, it's all connected to the brain. Okay. What happens is an accident can probably induce something that was already there, make it come out a little bit earlier. Okay. Just like a child who was possibly hereditarily depressed. Instead of it coming out waiting until he's 17 because of a bullying situation at school or in the community or in the home. Parents bully kids. Okay? Anywhere that can induce that moment of depression that was probably waiting, to come out later, later in life, but here comes a traumatic event and it traumatized the child.
Gotcha.
And it bring it to light sooner than it was supposed to come.
So you think depression? So I guess my next question is, how does all three of them tie together, like suicide, depression, and bullying? How do they tie together?
Well, there are study shows that they're not really tied together, but what happens is bullying victims, it's said that they're at higher risk of suicide, higher risk of depression, and at times higher risk of having homicidal type thoughts. Okay. You think about your kid who's constantly being bullied, don't know which way to go. They don't want to fight back because they don't want to get in trouble or they feel like nobody's believing them anyway. Their depression, and of course with depression at times may possibly come with feelings of hopelessness and helplessness, and they possibly want to take their lives. Where it comes in with possible homicide, I don't want to take my life, but I just want to stop them.
True.
He's bigger than me, and bullies most of the time make other people think that they're more powerful than them.
Right.
So that person that's being overpowered don't know how to get them back.
True.
Don't know how to, what we used to call rip or something on them. So they may take moms or dads, whatever they have in the home, to protect themselves with, and it's a chance that they can have thoughts of wanting to hurt the person that's been bullying them. So that's kind of how they're more at risk of doing some of those things.
That's true. I also see like you got some statistics that you written on was prepared to talk about.
Yeah, I actually, earlier this year I had the pleasure of speaking to a GED class, which now they call it high set, equivalent test, at the River Parishes Community College in Sorrento.
RPCC, that's my alumni.
Yeah. So they have a program there where they allow kids to come and take adult ed courses. And I believe I spoke to about 18, and from 18, out of 18 students, about 5 of these students were in the GED program because they dropped out of high school due to being bullied.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was a personal experience. I got a chance to talk to them. They got a chance to tell me what their experience was. And I'm actually in the process now of helping them become advocates. They have some great teachers in that program, and they're really trying to motivate them. Another statistic you see right here is 500,000. There are 500,000 yearly suicide attempts due to bullying.
Wait, 500,000?
500,000, and that's according to the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control by the CDC.
Huh.
Yeah. It's also said that bullying is the second leading cause of death amongst children. So it's
like
the
in
second,
the world or just Louisiana?
In the nation. In the nation, yes. And that's crazy because we think about heart attack, we think about diabetes. It's actually ahead of diabetes. It's next to cancer, according to this study that I read. Yeah. It's also said that 1,200,000 annual dropouts due to bullying.
So just drop out of school, like high school? Was it in the country?
Drop out of high school. This is high school dropouts. This is high school dropouts, and this came from, there was a little girl, it's really, she's really amazing. She was tired of being bullied, and she was tired of other people being bullied. And she and her parents turned it into a foundation, and it's called Bully Not Broken. So you can look that up, Bully Not Broken, and she has amazing videos telling her story and trying to empower other kids.
Okay.
Yeah. I also wrote a few more notes down about the camp that we put on.
Last week, right?
Yeah, that we partnered with First Community Antioch Baptist Church and Pastor Gaines, and I took some notes from the kids.
Let me see pictures of that rolling while we're talking.
During that camp, there was at least 80% of children that stated that they had become bullying victims in the last school year. And that percentage was based off of, we had 85 kids that participated. So when you look at 80% of that amount of children, that's a high amount. And
that's in our area.
That's in our area, yeah. I think we had maybe 5 from another area, St. John Parish, because that's my parish. So had to make sure some of the kids there, St. John, West St. John Rams. So
we're gonna let it live.
Yeah, so well, one thing that I found out from talking to those kids personally, and we had segments, we had licensed professionals and people from the sheriff's office speaking to these kids on the topics. And one thing from going in and out of the classrooms and speaking to the kids myself was understanding that they kind of know their rights, but they know their rights, they know where they stand as children.
Right.
And I can't always fight that battle on my own. But what I found out is that not all the parents know their rights.
Exactly.
How much they can actually fight for their children.
I'm pretty sure a lot of them know that.
Yeah, I had a little girl who was visiting, and she was visiting family, and oh my God, I love this kid. It's actually my friend's child, and I didn't know she went through this in another state. She was bullied to where kids was writing things about her on the bathroom wall, and I want to say she's like 10 years old. and there was a poster contest. I'll try to get you a picture of a poster. I'll ask her mom if I can share it. And she won the poster contest that one of the counseling agencies put on at the camp. And so I called her, I was like, what's going on with this poster? Like, I didn't know. And she told me some of the story. Her grandmother told her some of the story. And
that's crazy.
It broke my heart because of like, oh my God, her mom is my friend. Like,
right.
you know, I go to church with your grandmother, and you know,
like
we're all friends, you know,
right,
you know, because our church is, you know, you close in your church to the people, and that really, really broke my heart. But fortunately, her mother knew what to do and how to handle it. But some people know that our parents don't know
exactly
all of the rights and the steps that they can take.
Right.
And one step that I always tell parents, if I'm not good enough for you, call the sheriff department. I think I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Call them, please call them, and seek help for your child, because you're not only helping your baby, you're helping that other kid that was the bully as well.
That's true. That's true.
We gotta help him too, or her too. We gotta help him.
Nobody ever thinks about it that deep, because you're not only helping just one person, you have both parties.
Y'all been both parties. And then you think about it when people are saying things victimized. Okay, that victim, mom is hurting, dad is hurting, best friend possibly hurting. You know, you have a circle of people. Right. And then here you get to the person, the person who was doing the bullying, the offender. Mom might not even know the extent of the bullying. But once you find out, you have mom hurting, you got dad hurting, you possibly have grandma hurting, whoever's living in a home and close to the children. So by you knowing your rights as a parent, you're helping your child, and you could get help for that other child, because bullying is one of those things that don't have to last long.
Right.
And some kids may have, you know, some other underlying issues that's causing that bullying.
I guess nobody ever thought about it that deep, because you never know if the kid on his end is getting bullied too. So
correct.
To give up, to fight off in anger, he bullied somebody else that's you know, that's smaller than him, to make himself feel bigger. Right,
or even had some sort of traumatic event.
True.
You know, or being trafficked.
That's true. That's true.
Going back to trafficking, you don't know unless somebody take that step to get everybody involved some type of assistance.
That's great.
Because I couldn't get those Jordans, but he had them, so I'm gonna find something wrong with them.
Right.
You know, or because I don't have those Adidas or whatever is out, Air Max or whatever, you know, or because this one kid decided to put a yellow shoestring in this and then a red one another.
Right.
They don't have any shoestrings.
True.
You just got that one pair of shoes that, you know, they're
work.
wearing. Or that kid just don't care what he put on the school. It don't matter, as long as I got some shoes on, man, I don't care.
Exactly.
You know, but just to make that other kid maybe going through some things to make him feel like, oh, I want to feel big today, and I'm gonna tell little Johnny about his little shoes, but it's not there. And mom and dad may not even know that their kid is going to do these things.
Probably not.
So by the victim parent reporting, gonna get this family help,
and their family.
And their family help. And everybody can get a broad support system so these kids can become better and positive citizens of this state. You know? Because one reason we do what we do, trust me, is not for money. It's building a better economy. Because when these kids are, if they're productive from watching your videos, and seeing that they can start businesses from watching the one with Dontrell, they're giving back to they're going to be giving back to their community. They're going to be giving back to the economy.
True.
And making the economy better.
True. And this showing us another avenue that, you know, they can do positive things.
Right. They can do positive things. So everybody is going to come together and get support if you know your rights.
That's great.
Yeah. So I do have notes.
Okay. Hey, we here.
I wanted to share with you tips. Some parents, you know, don't really look at tips or even think that there are tips for that may show you that your kid is becoming, you know, being bullied or actually going through something. One tip is signs of bullying is your child's behavior is changing.
Okay.
All of a sudden, that child is in maybe 6th grade and the teacher's calling because he walked down the hallway and hit somebody. Well, he went 5 years, never hit anybody in school.
So, and that's a word for that, like maniac or something like that? Or that wouldn't be classified as that?
No, I wouldn't say
Okay.
maniac. But minor behaviors that's changing. Withdrawal. Withdrawals signs like he doesn't want to be bothered. His friends from down the street come knock on the door, see if he want to come ride his bike, but no, I don't want to. Signs of depression is sometimes another one, withdrawal, giving things away. Textbook tells us one of the signs of suicide is when people start giving away their favorite things.
What if you don't want to play with them?
Okay.
Or you just...
You know the favorite things of your
Okay.
kids that they will never give away.
Gotcha.
Those games,
Oh yeah.
they're not giving away their games.
That's true.
Kids that are gamers are not giving away their games. Kids who are builders, our future engineers, they're not giving away their Legos.
That's true. I still got mine.
Okay, I mean, yeah. Think about it. You know, they're not giving away their Legos. Our STEM kids, the other STEM kids, they're not giving away their robotic stuff.
Right.
You know, but you see them constantly giving away their favorite things to some of their favorite people, or don't want to spend time with some of their favorite people that they grew up with. Don't want to go to. Everybody got a nanny in the neighborhood that they like the cooking better than they like their mama's cooking.
True.
Right?
True.
If they don't want to go to that play nanny, I like to call it, you know, they don't want to go to play nanny house Saturday morning to get breakfast that he loved.
Yeah.
You know, there's some signs to start asking questions like, well, what's wrong? What's going on? And they may say, oh, you know, okay, but be approachable to your children to where they will want to feel comfortable. Don't try to hide your worry signs, you know, your facial expressions of being worried, but try to open your ears to listen to them, because sometimes they have some things to tell us that we're not ready to hear.
Yeah.
And they know that it's gonna hurt mom, it's gonna hurt dad, it's gonna hurt grandma, aunts, uncle. But look for those signs in your kids and start talking to them.
Okay.
So
Watch your signs. So, if they do these, I guess I'm piggyback what I said earlier. If they see these signs, how would they get help with it?
well, one of the first steps, if a child tells you that it's happening in the school, I would first go to the school and talk to, every school has a school counselor.
Yeah.
You know, going back to them, speak to the school counselor to see how they are able to assist. A lot of times the school assistant principal handles the behavioral portion. So, you know, tell them, hey, I want a meeting so I can see what's going on with my child, because his behavior is changing, his grades changing, he's telling me this is going on. I want a investigation or to see how you can help me. Through the school counselor, sometimes they can get some referrals to go out and see if the kid is okay, you know, depressed and stuff like that. If they are unaware of some resources, or the parents don't like the resources they have, a lot of times they call people like me, or whatever in their district, their school district, to get help for their kid. And again, if you're not pleased as a parent, know your rights.
Right. So I guess I should have asked, where is a place they could actually read their rights?
Louisiana.gov have all of the bullying rights on there, all of children's rights. You can go to children, just Google Louisiana Children's Advocate. They can simply Google that for the state of Louisiana, because there are advocates out there that can help them with their rights. Yeah.
That'll work. So before we just tie it up in a nutshell, any other notes that you want to say?
Let me see. I did, because, you know, sometimes people like me, they'll think, you know, because I'm very passionate about some of this stuff, they'll think that you go overboard, possibly making it up, or you don't have literature to. I just wanted to show you some.
You came with the facts today.
Yeah, this 9-year-old boy. This is about a 9-year-old boy who died by suicide after he was bullied. It happened in school. The school was taking on their investigation, but during the investigation, child felt like he left a note saying nobody was believing him, and they found him hanging. This 13-year-old young man was being bullied in Michigan, and I'm sorry, this was February 6th of this year, of 2019 in Michigan. He was being bullied on the school bus. And this was after the mom had approached school system as well, but it was constantly going on for many, many days, actually months. And this child decided to take his life. Yes.
Wow.
And the first report of bullying came in September of last year. He took his life in February. I don't have the literature for this, but there's also, you can look up a story with the father of the bullying victim. The child, she committed suicide. I'm sorry, she died by suicide,
Yeah.
is the proper way to say it. He invited it was 10 bullies. He invited all of the bullies to the funeral.
Wait.
So, yes,
Wow.
he sent them a message through Facebook, Instagram. He sent all of their parents messages and invited them to the funeral to see what they have done.
Whew.
Yeah,
That's deep.
to see what they had done. This one is about a 13-year-old child, February again, 2019. She died by suicide after she was bullied by her friends on social media. This is all the research that I have for you that you can share with anyone. September 6th of 2018, there was a study that found that bullying was a huge problem in Louisiana.
Wow.
It says Louisiana has the highest percentage of high schools who have students who have attempted suicide due to bullying. Louisiana had the highest percentage of high school students bullied online. Louisiana had the highest percentage of students getting into physical fights. It's tied for first with the District of Columbia in Maryland. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Louisiana, I'm sorry, they studied it, they compared it to the District of Columbia, yeah. Another comparison with Alaska was Louisiana has one of the highest percentages of students missing school due to fear of bullying. This study was tied with Alaska, who is second, and Louisiana is first. Louisiana has the 5th highest percentage of high school students bullied on school property. And like I said, this you can take this and share this information too, so people can actually go to the link and read the article about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and this was on US Today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's making it up. This is real facts that she's giving. Like Louisiana, that's where we're from. It's a real big problem that I think a lot of people that's overlooking. So all these stories she just talked about, we can either put a link below so you can read deep into them. But right there is enough facts to make you just want to, I guess, talk to your kid more and really get to know what's going on in your world. Because just, hey, how you doing in school? All right, school's boring. Okay, you going to sleep? Maybe he's going through something, or she going through something. That's why she's sleeping so much. That's why she's giving away so much. That's why she don't want to be bothered. You never know. You never want to get that phone call that something happened to your kid,
Right.
and you could have prevented it by the action that was shown.
Right. That's good.
I'm listening. I'm taking my notes.
Good. That's good.
But just wrapping everything up, do you got anything else you want to add?
Just listen.
Okay.
Listen to your kids. Know your rights. 211 is a resource that I don't want anybody to forget.
Right.
And there's always help.
Okay. True. That's a lot of information. 211, that should make sure you remember that number. If you don't remember nothing else, 211 if you need any help. And
911.
Oh,
If you're ever feeling suicidal, may I say this?
yeah.
If anybody in your family is ever feeling suicidal or even homicidal, remember you can always just simply dial 911 and ask for help for your family members.
Hey, all we're trying to do is help you out, because this whole topic, that's what it was for. School's about to start. well, I don't know when you're gonna watch it, but it's 2019, the fall semester of school, but it's starting. We just want to help the kids and the parents just stop these bullying, stop the crimes and prevention. That's all this segment was about. Like every other segment I ended, GGBU is Bubba, and thank you again.
Watch this.